No MPC 3 yet. What are we gonna do? We just got the standalone MPC on 2.15 that's super stable, and they got all this MPC 3 content out here. What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? I'm just supposed to sit here and cook up in 2.15, no MPC 3. This is ludicrous. What's going on, guys? It's your brother O.T.G. The O.T.G's for overtime grind. Hardly seen, but I'm always around. And today I'm in a non-MPC 3 MPC Live 2 standalone, and we just gonna cook up. We're gonna use the plugins, we're gonna pick our drums, and we're gonna see what we come up with. You know, I don't do no edits. Maybe I should do some edits, but I'm not gonna do no edits. We just gonna let it run through. You know what I mean? Make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment, all that cool stuff. Listen, sometimes you gotta pop out and show. Oh, sorry. I thought we was talking about something else. My bad. I hear a lot of talk all the time, you know, about the plugins and what MPC can do, what it can't do, what it should do, what it's not doing, what you could put into memory, what you can't put into memory, why you should be plugged to the computer, why you shouldn't be plugged to the computer, why your sound like this, why my sound like this, why you trash, why I'm not trash, why he did this and he did that. Last time that I checked, rest in peace, Nipsey Hussle. Last time that I checked, this was your machine. This is your music. You spent your bread. You make your decisions. You do what you want to do. So you know what I do? I make music. And I make a lot of it. And I feel blessed because we can. So to me, whatever the limitation is, we gonna work with it, right? But if I had $1 million, but if the sun never came up, but if the moon separated from the earth, it's always a what if and a but, bro. If you letting that stop you from creating, then you need to get focused, because that means you wasn't trying to create in the first place. But you shoulda, and you coulda, and why you not using this? And I run into that because it's more power when you do this, and it's more power when you do that. Yeah, I could buy a SS Impala, and I could put Flowmaster 40 series flows on it, and it might sound like this. But if I buy these, it'll sound like that, bruh. It's all preference and subjective to what you're trying to do. What you're gonna have to do is get your own brain and have your own thoughts. What you're going to have to do is take the tools that's in front of you and make them do what it do. That's what you're going to have to do. You understand? So I take the tools that's in front of me. Listen. If there's a plug-in, I want it. You know what I mean? If there's a plug-in they drop, I want it. You could call it whatever you want to call it. You could think about it however you want to think about it. But at the end of the day, standalone MPC with built-in instruments. If there's a plug-in they drop, I want it. And we're going to go through the plugins that they drop and learn them, turn some knobs in them, and start making some greatness. You know what I mean? Like you can see right now, we're going to make these strings our strings. We're going to make this Rhodes our Rhodes. We're going to make the bass our bass. Sometimes the presets sound great, bro, and you just run with it. Sometimes you might have to make some tweaks. So my advice when you're going through the presets is sometimes if you have a sound in your head, then you're hearing something in your head that you feel like should go on the beat. You don't spend 16 hours trying to find that sound. You find the thing that's closest to it and then you mold it. The goal is to stay productive, not to get lost down rabbit holes. You know what I mean? At least for me. If you're a rabbit hole producer, more power to you. You know? And a lot of the situations that I'm in, you know, from being with artists and all kinds of different people who playing beats for people and people listening to beats, like, the goal is to get them to catch the vibe. And once we catch the vibe, once it gets inside of Pro Tools and all of that, that's when we make it sound amazing. And so, you know, again, this is why I don't do a lot of mixing on my beats. You might see me put the EQ at the end. Why? Because I could just turn the EQ off. Why? Because I could just turn everything off, get the raw sound out, and then once we get the raw sound, we can make it sound amazing. But if I put all that stuff on every single track, then what are we talking about? You know, sometimes I feel like people forget there's another level after the MPC. And because maybe they don't know there's another level after the MPC, you know, maybe because most of the people who are teaching about the MPC haven't made it to another space yet. So everything they're showing is for how to mix something to get a great playback. You get what I mean? When you play it out your MPC for yourself, or you mixing it down to ride around and listen to with your friends or whatever you choosing to do. Hopefully you're not choosing just to give people 2 tracks, and that's you spending all this money on all this gear to do all this shit to give people 2 tracks, meaning you just giving people the mix down of what's coming out of the MPC. You know, if that's what you're doing, you know, more power to you. But there's another level if somebody wants your beat. And most of the time, that's a track out. And that's why we have the track out option. This is what makes everything in the world people can create on whatever they create on, under whatever circumstance. But when it gets down to the business and people really want that to take it out to another level, and it doesn't mean radio, doesn't mean TV, doesn't mean any of that stuff. The next level could be Billy Bob next door feels like he has a song that goes to your arrangement producer / beatmaker / composer, and he wants to write to your arrangement and take your arrangement and go perform it somewhere. And even if he performs for 6 people, that's taking it to the next level, because it's going to affect one of those 6 people eventually, positively, negatively, whatever. You as a producer, the next level should be, here, I'll provide you the track out, and now you could mix it. You could cut the drums when you want to. You could cut the hi-hats if you don't like this sound, if you don't like that sound, if you want to add a sweep, a phaser, whatever you want to do. Whatever you want to do. Whatever you want to do, bro. We could do it. It's not a problem. What I'm doing isn't the final mix. Oh, your voice is in this key, and I got the kick sat here. Oh, we can fix that, bro. That's no problem. You know, but in order to get there, you gotta start here. You dig? So this way, I'm just cooking, man. Cooking while I'm talking to you. Talking to you while I'm cooking. No, I started with the melody this time, and then now we just gonna build it one piece at a time, brick by brick. Y'all might not catch the references if you're not in the culture, but that's from Snowfall. Make sure you check out the other videos on my channel. You know, I opened up the hard drives to kind of show you so you can get some context of what I'm saying. You know, put up some Beanie Siegel sessions, some stuff we did with Tone Trump. I probably have footage all the way back to 2015 or something. I mean, 2005 or something. And since we independent, I always keep my camera on, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, most of the time I'm there to assist the artists. You know why? Because we make decisions. Now, Overtime Grind is the record label. You know what I mean? And so I need my own documentation for things that's going on. Part of the goal is to produce a great project and a great product. And when doing that, you know, it's always a bunch of steps, you know what I mean? And in those steps, brick by brick, step by step, that's how you get to where you're trying to go. You know, you got to put the work in. And you got to make decisions. I feel like that's the number one problem that kind of plagues the MPC community and the producer community as a whole. Like, y'all not proud of your decisions. So you're always looking for somebody to validate your decisions on why you chose the equipment you chose and why you chose the sounds that you chose and if you chose the right BPM and all this other shit. Man, the validation comes from giving it to somebody and seeing it turn into something. That's the culture of hip hop. At least to me. You know, the way I feel about it, as a black man in America, you know, I know a lot of men who got a story to tell. And instead of them just picking up their phone, rambling to the camera, we might supply them some music. You know, or we supply them the music to listen to. It's a lot of black women in America got a story to tell. It's not up to me to talk about their story. That's why I don't come on here dissing Sexy Red or dissing this person or dissing that person. Everybody got a story. And it's their right to tell their story. And if people feel and align with that story because they can relate, or they can't, whatever, they just like the music, that's the goal, right? And the root starts with you, the producer, the guy who creates the palette of sounds and puts it together so they could paint a picture. And all of that comes from decision making. You gotta make decisions. And when you just sitting on your MPC by itself, like I told you earlier, I want all the plugins. If a plugin moves in a part, I want a piece. They got fat while we starved. That's the king of New York, if you don't know. I remember the days being out here with skinny MPCs, all these old MPCs y'all want to go get. And you had to search for the sample of the strings and search for the sample of the Rhodes. And man, it was work. And I appreciate the work because I did the work. But man, if you're going to make the work easier on me, and instead of me having to sample of Rhodes, I could just go ahead, hop in the pad perform, play the Rhodes. If you're going to give me way more memory than 128 megabytes and 32 megabytes, and now we at 2 gig, bro, do you know what I could do with 2 gig? I don't never need to update. What? I don't give a damn. I got a computer with 256 gig, and I choose my 2 gig MPCs over my computer any day. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment. If you got a skinny MPC, just click the link and go to my Gumroad. I put a lot of the stuff that I have in my MPC up for you guys. It's just a collection of stuff. If you want it, you want it. If you don't, you don't. It's affordable. You know why? Because I remember the days of having the old MPC and living in the middle of the United States and having the hardest time just trying to find a store to be able to buy the sounds. Like, just having the sounds don't make you great. That's what's wrong with a lot of y'all too. You spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to buy these things, and now you got the sounds. If you don't know how to put them together, if you don't know how to do the basics, panning, volume, pitch, compression, EQ, if you don't know the basics, you just got a bunch of good shit, mixing it up, making it sound like a bunch of shit together, right? We are producers, and our decision is on the sound. And while you're present in the moment, be present in the moment, be present in yourself, and just create, man. I didn't know this was what I was gonna make, but I feel it. Get it? I feel it. Maybe you don't. That's cool. I do. And because I do, and it's my MPC, and it's my sounds, and it's my time, and it's my videos, and it's my brain, I'm gonna make my decisions based on what I feel. And what makes you a better producer is understanding the technical aspects. 4 bars, 8 bars, 16 bars, volume. Thinking ahead, like with these strings, I want to have one part, and then I want to have another part. Should I put that all on one track, or should I put it on another track? This is part of the tips. Part of the tips when you watching, and you see me put one set of strings on one track and another set of strings on another track. This should let you know, damn, hopefully I'm using my plugins like that, and maybe I have to choose the right plugins first. Meaning, maybe I should use Fabric because it has a lot of options and a lot of different things. And so maybe if I use Fabric XL for the strings, or this part or that part, then I could put that on track 1, and then on track 2 I could put this part, and on track 3 I could add this part, and now we could build it up from bar 1 to bar 16, or bar 1 to bar 32. I don't need to play it all on one track and then go back and have to edit it all out. No, we could just mute that track and then have the second part. I'll show you, because I'm your brother. I thought I was going to be able to go here to mess with the velocity, but I wasn't. You gotta be able to multitask too. You know, so while I'm hearing what's going on, I'm still thinking about that drum kit that I got. That's why I didn't name it yet or do the pad coloring yet, because I know I still want to add more drums. But I'm following the vibes. And the goal with a lot of these beats, you know, I see people talk about the beats, people making tutorials and all this stuff. And again, I don't think they know there's another level. You know what I mean? That you could take a simple beat, take it out of the MPC, put it in Pro Tools or Ableton or something when you get ready to do a session. Once you start stacking up, doing all the work in there, now you go crazy. That beat can turn from sounding super simple in the MPC to sounding amazing and ready for an artist to lay vocals on, or sounding amazing just for whatever choice you try and use it for. But you gotta start somewhere. You gotta start at the root. And the root is the MPC. The root is whatever it is you choose to produce in. And hey, listen, if you need the sky to be the limit when you start, more power to you. Some will say the sky is the limit by having every plug-in. Some will say the sky is the limit by having all these expansions. Some will say, you know, I sample everything. I mean, I did it too, bro. You're not talking to a new jack. I'm 44 years old. I've been doing this since a long ass time. Way before YouTube. Not to diss YouTube, but just saying. Stop skipping over the old plugins because you got new ones. You know what I mean? Everything gets love. If I buy a new pair of shoes, I'm just not gonna wear the new pair of shoes every day and never wear my old ones. No, bro. I bought the new ones so I could have multiple, so I could have choices. So I could flex that flex, fit that fit, kick that kick. You get what I mean? It's the same way with your MPC. Sometimes you just like to have choices, but you still gotta run through the old stuff. It didn't get old and foul and played out because something new came out. Again, you gotta make decisions and stand on the decisions that you make. It's a bunch of, you know, with the advent of social media, every time you open up your social media, you could follow a new woman. Ladies, you could follow a new man. But we see the life people live who just keep going to the new one, keep going to the new one, keep going to the new one. Like at some point, you gotta decide your person. And your person gonna have limitations. It's only so far they gonna do certain things and take certain things in. Hopefully, that's why you like that person and how y'all match, because y'all limitations match. You get what I mean? But that might be too much work for you. Sometimes you gotta put sounds together even though the sounds say it's something else. Like I have a set of strings, but Solina sounds good. They say this is strings. This sound more like a synth to me. It sounds good, and what I'm trying to do is the sound that I'm hearing in my head. So I'ma run with it. I don't give a damn what the preset name say. If it sound good, we gonna put that joint in there. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. What you just saw is I just did a temperature check. See if I like it. And you see I just made the decision. I was about to name the drums, but then I would have had to resave them after I saved them. And you know, I know. But the decision in the moment is let's go find some percussion and some other weird sounds just to throw in here. This is how you spice up your little 4-bar loops or your 8-bar loops. Subtle changes, you know what I mean? Because at least in what I'm trying to do, all the music I create is always going to be missing a major instrument. Can we guess what that is? I would do the Jeopardy sound, but I'm not. But think about it. What is every instrumental missing? Yup, you got it. A voice. A voice is an instrument. And you want to leave spaces for the voice. You want to give the voice an opportunity to do what it's going to do in the song. The ad-libs, a chorus, backing tracks, stacking, whatever, however you want to name it. You want to give the vocal, which is an instrument, space to do what it got to do. And you want to give, in my opinion, them something repetitive so they could catch the flow. Because from my experience, working with a bunch of artists, and this is why I'm emptying the hard drives so y'all can see. I'm not just a new jack who's saying this. I'm hardly seen to y'all, but I'm always around because I've been around. I've been in a lot of different places and a lot of different spaces. And the major thing that I do is get a finished song. Because as a record label and a person who's outside, I like to move the music. I like to put the music in front of people. The end result. So to me, and what I've seen, is that most artists aren't producers. That's where you as a producer come in again. Because most of the time, and it's not to micromanage what they writing. Again, another asterisk on the online producer community, too much micromanaging. It's not your job to micromanage whatever the artist is writing. It's your job to give them something they can flow to and they can write to. And once they start writing and then you have the words, then you can work on the words. Oh, instead of saying jump, you could say hop. Instead of saying you could say oh. Instead of saying this, try saying that. Take and out. Take this word out. It'll probably sound better. How does that go together with what we're talking about? Because that's why we added the percussion. We put it all in, build it all up. This is the one sequence method, just to deduct and take things out and create space so we get a better flow. If you want flow, you gotta create the flow. To create a flow, you gotta be in the flow. To be in the flow, you gotta make decisions. To make decisions, you gotta have some confidence. To have confidence, you need to practice. To practice, you need the tools. To have the tools, you need to invest. If you're invested in any of these things, guess what's going to happen? You're going to get into the flow eventually. You create in your own flow. And you hoping that somebody hears the flow that you create in your music and decide they can flow on top of it. You just throw these random sounds in. And you see, I'm just going through and auditioning them later. I made decisions. I made quick decisions on sounds I thought would fit. And we might use all of them, we might not. Just because it's there don't mean I gotta use it. You know, another thing of discipline. Just because I got $20,000 in the bank don't mean I gotta spend it. Just because I got a check today and my pockets is fat don't mean I gotta go out and flex. It's crazy how production ties into all of these life lessons, and you don't even see that they there. You know, when you're looking at your MPC, it could be a mirror. It could tell you things about yourself you don't know that are things about yourself. Maybe you procrastinate. Maybe you have problems making decisions. Maybe you have problems having vision, so you don't know where to take things. You can only go so far, and then you need somebody to tell you where to go next. Maybe you don't listen, so you have a hard time trying to place your sounds and your beats or do certain things because you have a hard time listening and hearing things. Maybe you care too much what people say, and so you can't get a beat done because you're so busy trying to get the kick and get the clap and get the this and get the that and make everything perfect because you're so worried somebody gonna say something. Maybe you're not good and when people say things directly, you don't take criticism well. So you have all this hard time creating because somebody might critique you. And one critique might make you want to quit. The world's full of people. And guess what? You're a person too. And every person on this earth is valuable. What determines their value is how much value they think or know they bring and how they carry the value. Now we at the part that I like right now. This is the song turning into something. Maybe it's going to be amazing. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's going to be a slapper. Maybe it's not. You know what it is going to be? A finished product. And I like it. I think it sounds dope. I'll listen to it again. And after I bounce it down, ride around, move around, play it in different places, I might be like, I need to go do this. Or I need to fix that. Or I need to do this. All good, right? Bring it right back, open it back up. But that's where you gotta save. That's where you gotta be present. You gotta remember what it was that you was doing, so you could go back and do it again. Or fix it. You know, List Edit is your friend. And they got List Edit so good, you know, if you open it up and not on the main arrangement, the main sequence, but if you open it up on the tracks, you can just go in and edit it track for track. See, like right there, so I could show you, I turned the keys off. I didn't want to turn the keys off. I'm not going to stop my recording because we halfway through the beat. I'm going to make a mental note that at 30, that's where I turned the keys off. And even while I'm in the moment making these decisions, I've stored in my little side brain that I'm gonna have to go back to the list edit and hit one switch and turn that automation off on the keys so it don't do that. As we wrap up and get to another beat, I'm gonna show you how to do the list edit and go through it. You know, no MPC3, so what? Get your MPC game together. Spend some time on your machine. Go shoot in the gym like you was Kobe. Get your flow right. Whatever you got, you got. If you want to get more, invest. Go get more plugins. Go do this. Go do that. You want more sounds? Go check out the description. But at the end of the day, you're going to have to put the time in, and you're going to have to decide that what you spent your money on is good enough. Because if it wasn't, why would you buy it in the first place? If you bought it just to experiment, then, you know, you got a different expectation. You should be extremely happy with what you have. If you bought it to compare and contrast, you know, they say comparing can kill your joy. Comparing is damn near problematic. You know what I mean? So if you bought it to do that, no wonder you're unhappy. See, now we in the list edit. We're going to go over track 1. We know it was at 30. So we're going to find it. There it goes. And we're going to turn it off. Done dealio. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment. Hopefully you got something from it. You know, I show the overhead view so you could just watch and see. You know what I mean? You could see somebody from nothing to something. You could see the buttons I push. You could pause it. You could look at it. You could rewind the tape. You could see what screen I went on. You know what I mean? If I want to make it sound, have a thicker sound or a better sound, so when I take it out and play it, we could do that. Put that on the mains. If you learn something, I'm glad. If you walk away hating me even more, that's cool. At least I made you feel something. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, comment, check out everything that's in the description. And it's your brother O.T.G. Follow me on all social media, 365 O.T.G. And check out the other videos. The channel about to get crazy. It's going to be a little bit more than production, but it'll all make sense. Shout out to everybody who supports me. Thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. We about to grow it out. I'm focused, man.